Mhm.
But dude, the biggest thing for me was like whatever he was saying and whatever the craziness on stage was, bro, all those fans were into it. Like into it. So I was more like, because into like watching the beginning of his set, I was like, this is weird as fuck. Like, what is happening? And then the fact that everyone in those front little pits are losing their minds, I'm like, am I the weirdo? Like, why do I get this? So, What were your thoughts on his performance?
So in the beginning, I did think it was kind of weird, the shrieks that, for any Dragon Ball Z fans out there, he sounded kind of like Majin Buu, like Kid Buu specifically. I was really confused. It was kind of painful to listen to, but I'm not gonna lie, the rest of the set like seemed super dope. Like I kind of wish I was there. The guitarist, I thought he was the MVP of that.
For one moment, I thought it was actually him on the guitar because you couldn't really see their faces at one point.
Right.
So I was like, I thought it was him.
It was tricky. It was tricky to see what was going on, necessarily hear what he was saying. But in terms of the atmosphere, I could see why the crowd was getting amped. Like I think that environment is perfect for that kind of music. I feel like he's one of those artists you kind of have to see it to believe it and be there and just feel that energy, which some would call demonic. I don't think it was demonic. To me, it's more of like this new age performative thing where rappers are trying to establish themselves as rock stars and emulate whoever these other guys are, like Marilyn Manson and stuff. And I think for the hip hop community, for the longest time, like that was quote unquote white boy shit that people thought was weird and just super extra. But now it's kind of hip hop's blending with all these other genres even more so it's more acceptable. And I think there's still that stigma. So to a lot of people, it is freaky and weird, but I don't know. I thought the beats and the songs that he was performing for that environment was super dope. And I wish I was there to see it, because for the first time I was like, damn, I could see why Playboi Carti gets people riled up. It's definitely something that you would want to experience in person, based on what I saw at least.
Did over time though, because like you said, the initial, it was hard to like listen to. Did that get better over time?
I think so. Similar to our discussion of Don Toliver's album, I think I just had to appreciate it for what it is. I probably wouldn't be caught listening to Playboi Carti's music in certain situations. Probably more so if I'm trying to get hyped up. But I do agree that, like, from a lyrical standpoint, it was difficult to hear. But even when I listen to it in a quiet setting and I'm trying to understand it, it's still like
it's
seems
very
relatively
mumbled.
unnecessary to even care what he's saying. It's like just the melody itself, I feel like, is what people are going for in the vibe, rather than like, you know, what's the message he's trying to get across, when it's just like mumbles and shrieks and shit.
So then I guess the question for you then is just like, I guess like every artist has the right to do whatever kind of art they want to do, right? Like we can't sit here I can't sit here and judge Playboi when we just gave a full episode almost to Lil Yachty finding his voice in like acid rock, right?
Yeah.
So, but with this kind of music, right? Just knowing when we first saw Playboi Carti 4 or 5 years ago in Miami Rolling Loud, right? Like to go from Pierre, Can You Come Outside to this seems pretty crazy, right? As an outsider.
Yeah.
So like, does this version of him like seem believable? Does it feel gimmicky to you? Or this is just, do you really believe that this is who this guy truly is and the art he's trying to create?
I think inevitably, like, even if he's true to himself, it does feel gimmicky, just because one, it seems like it kind of came out of nowhere. Like this whole vamp like persona thing that he's doing, where he's like a black vampire basically. And I think it's, with the kids, it's always cool to be the different, edgy, like anti-pop culture like icon that, you know, gets 666 tatted on his neck and shit, like stuff like that. I feel like people do just to be edgy.